The story of Joseph. Joseph's early life. Joseph was the favorite son of Jacob, who was also known as Israel. Jacob had 12 sons, but Joseph was special to him because he was born when Jacob was old. To show his love, Jacob gave Joseph a beautiful coat made of many colors. Joseph had dreams that showed he would be important. In one dream he saw his brother's sheaves of grain bowing down to his sheaf. In another dream, he saw the sun, moon, and 11 stars bowing down to him. When Joseph told his brothers about these dreams, they became very jealous and angry. Betrayal by his brothers. One day, Jacob sent Joseph to check on his brothers, who were tending their flocks. When the brothers saw Joseph coming, they plotted to kill him. However, Reuben, the eldest brother, suggested they throw Joseph into a pit instead. They did this and later decided to sell him to a group of Ishmaelite traders traveling to Egypt. To hide their actions, the brothers dipped Joseph's coat in goat's blood and showed it to Jacob, making him believe that Joseph had been killed by a wild animal. Life in Egypt. In Egypt, Joseph was sold to Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh. God was with Joseph and he became successful in everything he did. Potiphar noticed this and put Joseph in charge of his entire household. However, Potiphar's wife wanted Joseph to do something wrong, but he refused, saying, "How could I do such a wicked thing and sin against God?" Angered by his refusal, she accused him falsely, and Potiphar had Joseph thrown into prison. Even in prison, God was with Joseph. He gained the trust of the prison warden and was put in charge of the other prisoners. While in prison, Joseph met two of Pharaoh's officials, the cupbearer and the baker, who had been imprisoned. They each had dreams that troubled them, and Joseph interpreted their dreams with God's help. He told the cupbearer that he would be restored to his position, but the baker would be hanged. Joseph asked the cupbearer to remember him and mention him to Pharaoh, but, well, the cupbearer forgot about Joseph after he was released. 2 years later, Pharaoh had dreams that no one could understand. The cupbearer finally remembered Joseph and told Pharaoh about him. Pharaoh called for Joseph, who interpreted the dreams, explaining that they meant there would be 7 years of plenty followed by 7 years of famine. Pharaoh was so impressed that he put Joseph in charge of storing food during the years of plenty to prepare for the coming famine. When the famine struck, it affected many lands, including Canaan, where Joseph's family lived. Jacob sent his sons to Egypt to buy grain. When they arrived, they did not recognize Joseph, but he recognized them. Joseph spoke harshly to them, testing their character and accusing them of being spies. He eventually revealed his identity to them after they returned with their youngest brother Benjamin, to prove they were honest men. The moment he revealed himself, he cried and embraced them. Joseph forgave his brothers, telling them, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." He invited his family to live in Egypt, where they would be safe and provided for. Jacob and all his sons came to Egypt and Joseph took care of them. Joseph's story shows how God can turn bad situations into good ones. Despite being betrayed and sold into slavery, Joseph remained faithful and was eventually used by God to save many people during a time of great need. His life is a powerful reminder of forgiveness, faith, and the sovereignty of God.